sheets data, you cannot load it into Power BI. Understand? N number of sheets data, you can load it. N number of data sets, you can select it here. Those many data sets are created in Power BI. Understand? See here, when you are not only this one, okay. So that means initially in get data, if you are connecting with any of the data source, okay, if you are connecting with any of the data source, okay, so first initially for that particular data source having some credentials, right? Suppose you are connecting with Azure without giving credentials, you can log into the Azure. Without giving credentials, you are log into the Oracle or anything, any of the data source, without giving credentials, you are not able to log in, right? So when you are connecting with any of the data source, initially for that particular data source, what credentials is having, those credentials you have to give it. After giving those credentials, this navigator window is common for all the data sources. Remember this point. What is that? This navigator window is common for all the data sources. Okay. Suppose if you are connecting, I'm connected with Excel. I'm this initially what it is asking? It is asking the path of the Excel. After selecting the path of the Excel, this navigator window is open. In this navigator window, in that particular Excel, if whatever sheets are there, those sheets here itself it is available. In this navigator window, okay, you have to select the data set. How many data sets you are selected? Those many data sets are loaded in Power BI. Understand? This navigator window is not for only Excel. This navigator window is common for all the data sources. Okay. Initially, for that particular data source having their own behavior, just you have to give those things. Like if it is asking any credentials, give the credentials, and after that, navigator window will open. Understand clear? In this navigator window, you just need to select the data sets here. Once you select the data sets here, those many, whatever the data sets you are selected here, those many data sets are loaded in Power BI. Understand clearly or not? So once you select that particular data set here, see here, I'm selecting this particular one. So after selecting, when the navigator window is common for all the data sources, so in the navigator window, select the data sources. For all the data sources, select the data sets. After selecting the data set, see here, there are three options will be there. Load, transform data, and cancel. Not only for this particular one, for any of the data. So this navigator window is common. And here itself, after selecting the data sets, whatever it is required, after that, you can select any of these three options: load, transform data, and cancel. Understand? What is that? Load, transform data, and cancel. Okay. So what is load and what is transform data and what is cancel? I will tell you. First of all, cancel means, that means just it will close this window. What is that? Cancel means this window is closed here. Okay. If you are clicking on cancel means this window is closed now. Okay. If you are clicking on transform data means, so whatever data you are loaded into Power BI, in that particular data sets, if you want to do some modifications means sometimes we are removing columns, sometimes we are changing the column name, sometimes we are changing the data type. Okay, sometimes we are replacing the values. Okay, sometimes you need to change the character column values into uppercase, lowercase. These are all transformations. Okay, that means after loading the data from any of the data source, after loading the data into Power BI, if any modifications are required to that particular data set, then must and should you have to do transform data. Because in transform data window, this is a transform data window. In this transform data window only we can do the modification. If there is no modifications are required for a particular data set, then immediately you have to select which option? Load option. Which option? Load option. When you click on load, what will happen? Whatever the data sets you are selected, those data sets are loaded into Power BI model. What is that? Power BI model. Suppose if any modifications are not required for that particular data set, directly you can click on load. Whenever you click on load, whichever data sets you are selected here, those data sets are loaded into Power BI model. Understand clearly? Suppose, for example, I don't want to do any modification. I directly click on load. See here, then immediately what will happen? That particular data set loaded into Power BI model. Power BI model is nothing but this is the Power BI model part. Understand? Power BI model is nothing but this is the one. Okay. When you want to load a Power BI model, okay, after loading the data into Power BI model, okay, you cannot do any transformation options in the Power BI model. Okay, that means you cannot do any modifications on the Power BI model because those options are not available in Power BI model. Understand clearly. Only you can do the modifications in the transform data. Okay. Vijay, I have a doubt here. Okay. So after loading the data into Power BI model, can we go to the transform data window? You understand my question or not? So you are clicking on load and that particular data sets are loaded into Power BI model. Once I click on, once I loaded the data into Power BI model, this is Power BI model. Okay. This is Power BI model. Okay. Once the data is loaded into Power BI model, can we go to the transform data window? Yes. Okay. So after loading the data, directly loading the data into Power BI model, we can go to the transform data window. Where is that option means? Here is the option. They see here in home tab, you will see an option called transform data. You will see an option called transform data. Okay. By clicking on this one, then there is a transform data window or Power Query editor window will open. See here, when you click on this one, see, this is a model window. Okay. So another, when you click on transform data, another window will open. This window, we can call it as transform data window or Power Query editor window. Here itself, we can do all the modification. Understand clearly or not? Understand clearly or not? So this is how we can load that particular data into. So once you are loading the data into model, then you can go to the transform data by clicking on transform data window. Understand clear? This is how you need to load it. Suppose, for example, Vijay, only Excel? No, there are n number of data sources. What is the next option? Next data source is SQL Server. What is that? SQL Server. Suppose if I want to connect with SQL Server, what are the steps we need to take? See here, SQL Server means this is the one. Okay. When you select this particular one and click on connect it, that particular data set is loaded into Power BI. Understand clearly or not? Okay. When you click on connect it, see here, when you when you are connect with Excel, it is asking where your Excel is there in your local system. When you are connect with SQL Server, see here, behavior is different for the other. That means each and every data source having a different behavior. That means when you are clicking on that one, maybe it is asking some credentials, or else it is asking some server, or else it is asking some database. Those are also credentials. Okay. So that means, so these related in SQL Server, you have to give the server name, database name, and everything. And after that, click on OK. Then you are able to connect it. Okay. So before going to discuss about the SQL Server, few of the topics we need to discuss about SQL Server related one. Okay. What are the topics we need to discuss in SQL Server means these are the topics. So see here, Power BI, SQL Server topics. These are the one. Okay. So from today onwards, for 1 week, we need to discuss all these things, the skills, because in most of the organizations, the data sources they are using as SQL Server. So how much is important in SQL Server? Those related things we need to discuss it here. Okay. So first of all, I will give the introduction. After that, step-by-step SQL Server installation process. That installation process document also it will be there. Let's see one second. Yeah, see here, SQL Server installation process. See here. So just you need to follow the same steps. I prepared the document for this one. Based on that, one by one, we can do that one. First of all, see what are the topics we need to discuss for SQL Server that we need to discuss it here. So that means what are the topics is see here. First introduction. What is SQL Server and everything? Okay, that we need to discuss it. Okay. Next one is step-by-step SQL Server installation process. Okay. Next one is different data types. Okay. So while you are storing the data in SQL Server means must and should for each and every column data type is required. If the data type is not there, we cannot store the data in that particular column. That's the reason data type is assigned. Data type is nothing but what data you need to store. If that particular SQL server need to understand, like what values it is. Suppose you are inserting numeric, that is a numeric values. You are passing characters means that is a character, but how the system will knows? System, that means SQL server will knows based on the data type. If the data type is related to numeric, then it will allows the numeric. That means what values you are inserting, those are numeric related one. So that means SQL server will understand based on the data type. So that's the reason data type, what are the different data types are available, those we need to discuss it. Next one is types of command. There are different commands will be there. DDL command, okay, data definition language related commands. What is DML command? Okay, data manipulation language. Okay, DRL, data retrieval language, and TCL, transaction control language commands. Each and every command with the center, because in SQL server we cannot directly store the data. Like suppose in Power BI, you are loading any particular data set into this one, automatically that data is stored, right? But in SQL Server, how the data is stored? In a table format, it is stored. That table format, in a table format, if you want to store it means you have to write some commands. Those commands are by using these different types of commands, you can store the data, or you can retrieve the data, or you can modify the data, or these are the things by using commands only. Because if you want to store any data or deleting data, or you want to retrieve the data, anything, if you want to write, if you want to see, that means only SQL Server will understand in command format only. Okay, so there are different types of commands to store it or retrieving it. All this by using writing those commands, we can see of this. Understand clearly or not? Next one is, see here. So while DRL means select statement. Okay, in the select statement, select, what is select statement means? Means if you want to retrieve the data. Actually, the data is stored in SQL Server. How the data is stored? In table format. Okay, that table format of data, if I want to see it, means you can see that by using select statement. By using select statement only, we can see the data. Okay. How many ways we can write that select statement? I will clearly explain you each and every step there. Okay. Next one is very important point is constraints. What is that? Constraint. Why? Because if we need to restrict the data in constraints only. Because suppose, for example, while at the time of insertion, okay, can we insert duplicate values? Yes, it will allow us. Can we insert null values? Yes, it will allow us. That is the default behavior for SQL Server. Anything is accepted, and number of times it is accepted. Okay. So is that possible in the organization level? No. Because is employee having a duplicate value? Is employee having a null value? No, right? You have to restrict the data for particular columns. If you want to restrict the data for any of the columns, then we have to use a concept called constraints. Okay. That means which type of values you want to insert into that particular column. This constraints will decide and restrict it. If you are trying to insert in employee ID column, if you are trying to insert a duplicate values after applying constraint, it will throws an error. It is not executed. If you after applying constraint, if I try to execute null values or try to insert a null values, it will throws an error. Understand? But before applying constraint, it will anything is allowed. Either it is a duplicate or anything, it is accepted. That is the behavior of SQL Server. Default behavior. Okay. So for restricting of any particular column, then we have to apply a concept called constraints. Next one is SQL Server functions. So everything with, see, if you have like a direct option, then you can do it. Okay. Sometimes there is no direct columns are available in that particular table. In a table, few of the columns only it is there. With that column, I want to write some logic. Suppose, for example, I want to calculate the total. I want to calculate some minimum value in that one. That means in the existing column, by using an existing column of that particular table, we need to generate a new columns. If you want to generate a new columns means we cannot directly generate those columns. Then we have to use some functions here. Okay. Those all functions, don't worry. Those are single word functions only. Out of 100%, 75 percentage of functions you already know either in the education, or else if you have experience, you already know all these functions in other technologies also. Okay. So you will have aggregation functions. Is there aggregation functions mean sum, min, max. You know, right, what sum will do, what minimum will do, what maximum will do, what average will do. Okay. Same here also it is available. That means whatever SQL Server functions are there, 75% SQL Server functions in your education, those names, you already know what that particular name function will do. Okay. Or else if you are experienced person, then you know like other technologies. In that other technology also, you are using similar type of names of the functions. Okay, so very, very easy functions and a single word functions. Simply we can implement based on your requirement. Understand? There are different categories of functions. Aggregation functions are category. Ranking functions, analytical functions, datetime functions, string functions, and other functions. Okay. So these are the different functions. Next one is joins related. Very, very important concept in SQL Server. What is joins will do? Means if you want to provide a relation, if you want to provide a relationship between multiple tables, I have multiple tables are there. Okay. In all those tables, suppose, for example, actually what will happen here it is, you're using one table. Okay. In that particular table columns only you are using. But I want to use, okay. That means in the select statement, we are using all these joins. Okay. In the select statement, not only one data set columns, I want multiple data set columns also. That means in first data set, there is 5 columns are there. In second data set, 5. Third data set, 5 is there. In each and every data set, two columns are required for me. Okay. That means in first data set, 2 columns, second data set, 2 columns, third data set, 2 columns. Okay. So at that point of time, you cannot directly call those tables and columns. Okay. So you have to apply some joins. Okay. First, what join will do? It will provide a relationship between those data sets. Okay. It will provide a relationship between those data sets. And after that, what columns you required for that particular data set, those columns you need to pass it here. And those columns you need to count them. Understand clearly? Next one is, next one, okay. Last one, not least, that is views. Okay. What is a view? View is also like a table, but okay, if table is there, table means the contains the multiple columns and rows, right? Okay. View is also similar like a table. Then why we are using view? Because in a select statement, we are using with one table. Okay. Okay. In views, either single table you can use or else you can write with multiple tables and what columns are required. Those with that particular select statement, we can store it in the views. Understand? Understand clearly. Either you can display the view is also a similar like a table only. But in that view, maybe sometimes we are using one table related columns, you can see it. Or else sometimes multiple tables related columns also you can see it in the view. Understand clearly or not? That's the reason you used. Understand? These are all the different concepts for SQL Server for Power BI related. Vijay, only these concepts are available in SQL Server? No, there are multiple concepts are also. That means up to here, 70% is covered. 70% of SQL Server is covered when you know about all these things. Remaining few of the things like procedures, triggers, cursors, okay, and not only this, And those, so many things are there. CTE, okay, table variable, how those things we can have. So there are very small concepts it is that we you know already. You know all these things when you want to learn it. Step up to here, 70% is completed. Remaining 30%, you can know what are those topics will be there. Try to learn it. It's very simple. Those topics are very simple. Okay. See, this SQL Server topics are related to how much is important for Power BI related one. That means how what are all the things you need to cover for SQL Server related. That particular topics only available here. Understand clearly. First one is introduction to SQL Server. Okay. What is SQL Server means? So introduction to SQL Server means, suppose for example, okay. So so what is SQL Server? Sorry. Yes. Structured query language. That means that means first of all, what is SQL? All this, see, SQL Server is a database. Database means storing. So whatever the data we are storing in a particular server, those are all we can call it as databases. Okay. Suppose there are n number of databases are available in the market. SQL Server is the database. Okay. And Oracle is the database. MySQL is the database. Okay. Hadoop, HANA, all these are databases only. What databases will do? Just storing the data in a structured format. Okay. That means if you want to get that particular data in any of the databases means you cannot directly call, okay, show me the table means it is not showing that particular table. You have to write a proper commands for seeing the data. That means all these databases are secure because all of having a problem to write the commands. That's the reason they are not writing a proper command. If you are not writing a proper commands, it will throws an error. Whenever you are writing a proper command, then only the records are inserted. Then only we can retrieve the data from that particular table. Then only we can see the data of that particular table. All these things. That's the reason all these databases related are secured one. That's the reason every time, okay, all the clients are storing their own data in the databases. Okay, sometimes they are storing the data in Oracle. Sometimes some users are storing the data in SQL Server, MySQL, Hadoop, HANA. Why? Because why they are storing only these? Why can't we store in other? When compared to the other, these databases are secure because when other technologies, when you are selecting any of the table, okay, in the application, when you select the table data is shown. It's very easy, right? When you want to see that particular table in other applications, what will happen? Click on that table, then they can simply see that particular table, what data is available. But in databases, it is not like that. Must and should, you have to write each and everything in a proper command format. Then only you can store it. Then only you can see the data. That's the reason most of the times the users are using databases. It is a secure one. Okay. No one will access our databases. Even hackers are also very difficult to access it because they don't know how to write it, the commands and everything. Okay, that's the reason all the clients related data, okay, stakeholders data, most of the time they are storing in the database. So that's the reason in each and every organization, they are maintaining different databases. Okay. Databases is nothing but just storing our data in a secure manner. Okay. And these data, how it will be stored? In a table format. What is a table? Means table nothing but it is a contains a different columns, and each and every column there are different rows data will be there. That means in the headers you will see the name of that column names, and under that particular one you will see the data of that particular columns. Okay, you know how the table will be there, right? So say that means if you want to save the data in a table format only, you can save it. If you want to retrieve data or you want to see the data in the table format only, you can see the data. Understand clearly or not? So all these databases are following RDBMS. What is that? RDBMS means Relational Database Management System. Okay. What is this one? Because when before entering into the database, they are following the structure called RDBMS. That's the reason if you know any one database, you can understand other databases also, because they each and every database is following RDBMS. Whatever select query you are writing here, the same select query in other database also you can write it. Same how you can store the data here, in the same manner there also you can store it, but environment is different. Okay, SQL Server is a local software, and when you open that particular software you will see different one. Okay, when you are opening Oracle, that particular template is different, right? Okay, but writing the queries, whatever you are writing the queries in SQL Server, same thing in Oracle. That's the reason if you anyone knows Oracle means no need to learn separately for SQL Server. Okay, same thing. Small differences will be there. Those only you have to know what is that one. Remaining all you can handle it by your own. Understand clear or not? Just you have to know how it will behave. That's it. Understand? So don't worry. If suppose, for example, if you know SQL Server, you can easily handle it without learning Oracle or same or any other database. You can easily handle those databases also, because the same commands you need to write it, because all are following RDBMS, relational database management system. In relational database management system means the structure. That means they're having like they're completely they are following normalization concepts. Okay, that means so they're having a different column, different tables, and each table having their own relationship between those things. There all these things are they're following on. All the databases are following RDBMS. That's the reason even the structures are also same. Even when you want to see the data in Oracle, you will see the data in table format. When you want to store the data in Oracle also or in any other database, in the command format, in the table format only it is stored. But those all the things, if you want to store, means you have to write it in a command format. There also in any of the database. That's the reason when compared to the technologies, databases are similar. Okay. So suppose, for example, if you know Hadoop, I want to migrate it to SQL Server. You can easily learn. Same queries here itself, you can write it. Some modifications, some in some databases case sensitive. That means there itself, select means first character is capital letter. Second, that means remaining characters are small letters like that. There is a case sensitive they are following. Some databases like without case sensitive. Vijay, I heard out. SQL Server is a case sensitive or not? SQL Server is not a case sensitive. That means while at the writing a commands in any of the way you can write it. That means either in small letters, you can that particular command is executed. If sometimes if you write in uh, capital letters, that it is executed. Vijay, actually in a table, the column name is with the capital letters, it will be there. Can we call that particular column with the small letters? Is that possible? Yes, because SQL Server is not a case sensitive. That's the reason. If you are storing, if you are creating a particular table, in that particular table column is in capital letters you are storing. But while you want to see that particular column, in the small letters also you can call, or else in the capital letters also you can call. That means if any of the database is not a case sensitive means in any of the manner you can write it, either small letter characters or capital letter character also. It will be executed. Understand? That means SQL Server is not a case sensitive. If any case sensitive is there, how the syntax will be there as it is, you need to follow. If it is in capital letter only you can write. If you try to write small letter, immediately it will throw an error. Okay. But SQL Server is not a case. In any way, you can write that one. Okay. While writing the either in small letters or capital letters, up to you. Understand clearly or not? So that is about SQL Server introduction. Okay. What is the next concept? Installation. Okay. First, if you want to work with SQL Server means each and every having a software is that. That software you have to download in your local system and connect with that particular one. Let's see how we can uh, download the particular one and install it. Okay, there is for this particular step-by-step SQL Server installation process. I prepare a document for this one. Today, I will share this document in the Google Classroom. Okay, so you just need to follow that one and try to execute. See here, let's open that particular installation document. See here, in the same manner, I will try to do that one. See here, you also need to follow the document based on that you need to execute it. Okay. So first, what is that? Go to the browser, paste below URL. Okay. See here. This one I'm pasting. See here. Just I'm pasting that one. Once you paste that one, what is the next step you have to do? Come down. Okay. You will see an option called, see, there are two things will be there. Developer Express. Okay, always you have to click on download now for developer only. Don't click on Express. Understand clearly or not? Because it is a free edition. It is. This is a license. Understand? So always you have to select developer download now. See here in the document also it clearly scroll down. You will see a developer. Click on download and below is the screenshot. So when you click on download, see here, immediately it will download into your local system. Okay. See here, it is asking where you want to download it. Once the download part is completed, what is the next step you have to do? See here, this is and it look like this also. See here, after downloading, go to the download folder in your system, double click on the file. See here, Even I'm putting the highlight, double click on this file. Okay. Wherever it is downloaded, go to that particular folder. This is the one, right? What you have to do? Once you double click on that one, what is the next step? See here. In that one, there is a below option is there. Okay. See here. See. In that, what you need to select it? Huh? Basic. Okay. Okay. See here. After clicking on basic, you have to select it. Same here also. What you have to select it? Basic. After clicking on basic, what is the next option? See, just to follow the document. That's it. See here. What is that? Accept. Click on accept here. And click on install. See here. Install. See, once you click on install, what is the next step? It is coming here. See here. It is look like this. This window it is getting. Okay. Up to that, you have to wait. Don't worry, I will share this document to you. You just need to follow the document. That's it. For installing this particular one, it will take like 5 minutes or like that. Okay. So you see, always file at the time of installing must and should you have to use Wi-Fi only. So this SQL server you have to install in your laptop or desktop. Don't do it in your mobile. Okay. No, no, no. There is a Google Classroom. Okay. Check with Sham Sweta. Okay. he will provide the Google Classroom access to you. Okay. Then whenever whatever documents I share it, you all the documents you will receive through the mail. Okay. So every time, not only this one, every time whatever documents I uploaded in the Google Classroom, you can receive those documents in the mail itself. Okay. And keep downloading. Always download those documents, keep it in a safe side, because those Google Classroom is the limitation, because it is a free one. Okay. Google Classroom is nothing but a Google Drive it is. Okay. It is up to 10 days or like 15 days, less than 15 days only. Those files are able to access in that particular location. After that, you are not able to access it. If you are opening that file also, you cannot open. That's the reason whenever I shared the document, try to keep those documents in your local system. Download those documents and keep it in a folder. At any time, you can access those related files. But don't keep it in that particular Google Classroom. Okay, understand? See here. Now that particular this step is coming, right? The same, this is the screenshot for this one, right? After that, see here, clearly mentioned like don't close above window, paste below link in the browser. See here. So come down. There is an option called Download SQL Server Management Studio. Even in the screenshot also it is mentioned clearly. After pasting that, if you come down, which one you need to download, here itself clearly mentioned in the screenshot. Just you have to click on this one. Once you click on this one, it is trying to download SSMS. There is a different software, SSMS. Because in that SSMS only you are writing the commands or creating that one and storing the data or retrieving the data. All the things we can do it in SSMS. This software must and should you need to install it. Okay. So for this one, SSMS, see here is there, right? So I already installed it. So that's the reason in place of that one only I need to download it. So that's the reason I'm using that one. So once it is downloaded, okay. So again, double click on that particular software and go to the download folder, double click on that one. And see here also in the screenshot also, they are mentioning the same thing. After downloading, follow below steps. See here, double click on this particular one. Click on install. See here, like this it is coming. Okay. Still it is downloading. Yes, we can connect with multiple databases. You can create multiple databases in single server and you can connect multiple databases into Power. That is also possible. Understand, Parameshwar? Vijay, can you please paste that link here? No, serious. I will share the document in the Google Classroom. Check it in that one and do the process. Understand? We don't want to share like that, because if I'm sharing, I'm not able to use that one, Vijay. It is not accessible. There are so many things will be there. I'm sharing in the Google Classroom. Check from there itself. Okay. See, it is downloaded. Once it is downloaded, what is the next step you have to do? Go to that one. See here. Here it is. Which one it is? SSMS. Okay. What is that one? What you have to do? Double click on this one. Once you double click on this one, what is the next step you have it? Double after that, click on. So this is the window, it will open it. Click on install. Okay. See, this is the window. This is the one it will open, right? Open this one. And actually I already installed this one. So I need to uninstall it and reinstall it again. Then you will understand what is. I think you can check it from there itself. Index, architecture, and document also. Up to like cut, copy, paste. Up to yesterday class, I shared all the things. Okay. That is what you can check it from there itself. Okay. Those are the three documents I shared. And one more document today I will share this. Okay. SQL Server also very, very interesting topic, but on daily basis you have to practice it. Must and should. Okay. If you're not able to practice it, it's not a drag and drop application. Okay. You have to write a commands. Okay. Click on close here. Okay. Once again, you need to double click on SSMS. Okay. See here. So that is the window it is also showing here, right? What you have to click on? Install. See here. Once you click on install, it is finally finish option will comes. After clicking on finish, close all the windows which is related to SQL Server. That means this window you can close it. Okay. And this window also you can close it. You can close all the SQL Server related windows. You can close it and restart your system once. Understand clearly? Same specifications what it is required for Power BI, same specifications. There is no separate specifications for SQL Server. What specifications are available for, I clearly explained for Power BI, same specifications are enough. Okay. Meanwhile, I will share this document in the Google Classroom. Both SQL Server topics as well as installation. See, whatever topics I'm sharing, it is related to Power BI related one, not complete one. Can't you wait for 2 minutes? Excuse me. Can't you wait for 2 minutes? SQL Server installation. Check it once. Okay. MySQL is already installed in my machine. Yes, I'm able to install SQL Server. Don't know like that you need to check, Radhika. Okay. So if you try to uninstall that particular MySQL and install this SQL, so that is the one. Or else if it is supported both the things, then you can proceed with an because specifications is very at a time if you are running multiple servers, maybe your system will be very slow. So that's the reason if MySQL is not required, I uninstall that one and install the SQL server. Understand, Radhika? So once this is done, it clearly shows the message all installation part is completed. Okay. So you have to close at that point of time, you have to close all the SQL server related. See here, setup completed. What is that? Click on close this window as well as this window also. What is that? Close it. And after that, what you have to do? Restart your system once. Must and should. Must and should you have to restart your system. Okay. And open that one. Tomorrow I will explain you installation process completed, right? Tomorrow I will explain you how you need to work with that particular SSMS. How you need to open SSMS, how it look like this, everything that we need to discuss in tomorrow's class. Okay. We'll stop it here and we will continue tomorrow. Okay. Bye guys.